Quartered one.
Yeah. It should reach. She didn't send it to John? She did earlier, maybe somebody else sent it. I don't know. We got like 40, 20, something about it. She said like 18 kids. It's less than 18. No, it's less than 18. Here. Aviv, will this switch over?
What am I going to sing now?
Yes.
Hello.
Screw this one. Yeah, this has to go in here.
If we're going to sit in a circle, why do we need this?
The people who are restrained.
Oh.
Is somebody there?
Yeah. Can you screw that? I need a little thing too. Is there a stand? All right, let me get my tummy strong. All right, seats, everybody. But we have, I think, some people. Okay, so we got. Wait, just go. You can do this. You know how to do this.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Are you starting it? Can you start it? Yeah. And Dina, you like the candles?
Am I coming through? Okay. Got one. Rabbi?
Yes.
One thing I'm going to need from you.
Yep.
What is the parsha for 2 weeks from tonight?
It's probably Bereshit.
Pardon?
I think it's Bereshit. Hold on.
Okay.
It's Bereshit.
Okay.
All right, Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Are we on? Maybe it's just close to here. Yes. So Shabbat Shalom, everybody. We have again, that was Cantor Natalie Young, Rancho, it's Nigun, Rancho Bernardo, and she'll be with us on September 28th and September 29th, and we hope you'll be with us too. Aviv is with us also tonight, helping on music. Is he visible on the screen, Aviv? Excellent. We have other people on that side of the room, but they might not be seen. So we're going to continue with lighting of our Shabbat candles. I'm glad that we're here together. I know it's not a big crowd, but that's kind of the case around the High Holy Days. So Zena, if you would light the Shabbat candles, you can pick a reading on page 3 and then do the blessing. And if
Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them. So may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us. As their brightness remind us of generation of Israel who have kindled light. So may we, in our own day, be among those who kindle light.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Shabbat Shalom. We're going to continue on page 6. And let's read together on the top of the page a little bit. Well, I'm going to read it and make some comments and probably ask for some of your comments. It says, we enter the sanctuary to welcome Shabbat. Within these walls, we sit surrounded by numberless generations. Our ancestors built the synagogue as a visible sign of God's presence in their midst. Throughout our long history and our endless wanderings, it has endured, a beacon of truth, love, and justice for all humanity. Its presence guided our ancestors to lives of righteousness, holding up to them a vision of their truest selves. So when we think of that first paragraph, yes, it is Shabbat, and yes, we are in this sanctuary. And we think about numberless generations. And when I think of numberless generations, I think not only those who sat in this sanctuary, but those who were the Jews of the past, our ancestors, those we met and those we never met, those who not even our great-great-great-great-grandparents met because they lived thousands of years ago. And we think about this synagogue and what it means to sit in a synagogue. I'd be curious to know, what do you think of when you think about a synagogue, a sanctuary, numberless generations, and this idea of sitting in a synagogue today? Do you think it's what our ancestors would have envisioned or totally different? So I'm going to pass the mic only because we have people, at least 1 on 3. Shabbat Shalom, everyone on YouTube. So I'm going to pass the mic. And what are your thoughts about that? We're on page 6 if anybody has Mishkan Tefillah at home. I'm going to start with Aviv, who has his own mic, in fact.
What you were asking. What were you?
When I think of a synagogue, I think of a sanctuary. And I think of it not in terms of the physical as much as it's a place to go and enter a different dimension.
So it was what the synagogue means to us is, okay. Well, I think my feeling when I enter the synagogue is always about my family, my children when they were young, my whole life. All the time that I spent in the synagogue was sort of around my family. My children were bar mitzvahed. My wife and I, my deceased wife and I, were pretty avid members of the congregation. And so it's always been just a moment to look and and Kvel with my family.
Nice. Thank you, Gary.
Tough question. I guess the sanctuary is peace. I always feel at rest, not physical at rest, but I feel peaceful and calm that I don't feel anywhere else.
Thank you.
I guess I feel like Beverly does. I feel when I come through the door, you know, all the external things sort of drop away, and I can come in and I can be myself, and I can, you know, worship, and I can have fun, and I can just do the things, you know, with the people that I most like being with.
Well, it's kind of hard for me, like you said, what is our ancestors, how they feel that. It's hard for me to say. Like you said, some of them we never met, we never see. I don't know what they thinking, but for me to come here, like you said, peaceful, and it just changed whatever outside the world is just, here is the roof over your head and you feel comfortable.
Thank you. And if Travis or Paul at any point want to share, please know that you're welcome to do so. So I appreciate everybody's comment. You know, our ancestors built the synagogue as a visible sign of God's presence in their midst. You know, we learned that the synagogue, right, was built, not that God needed it, but the humans needed it. After our people left Egypt, we know what happened. They built the golden calf when Moses went on top of Mount Sinai for 40 days and 40 nights. And our rabbis teach us that the Israelites, that God understood that the Israelites needed something physical because that's what they saw in Egypt. And that by having the Israelites build the tabernacle, the Mishkan, and then the temple, obviously, in Jerusalem, you know, but it started with having something physical that was in the presence of the Israelites as they made their way through the wilderness. And so I just think as much as we love coming into the synagogue and the sanctuary in particular, which I do too, and that feeling of peace that was mentioned, I also really appreciate that and yearn for that. We also want to remember that God can be found everywhere, that God's presence is not only here, even though sometimes we do feel God's presence more strongly here. So let's read the second paragraph together on page 6. Now we, in our turn, come into this sanctuary to affirm the sacredness of our lives. May we enter this place in peace. May holiness wrap around us as we cross its threshold. Weariness, doubt, the flaws within our human hearts, the harshness of the weak, let these drop away at the door. In the brightness of Shabbat, let peace settle upon us as we lift our hearts in prayer. We're going to continue with Aviv with the singing of Ma Yafeh Hayom, page 10.
Ma Yafeh Hayom, Shabbat Shalom. Ma Yafeh Hayom, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom.
So now we're going to continue on page 20 with Lecha Dodi, and we're actually going to use the version that was written by Cantor Natalie Young. And so I'm going to ask us, when we get to verse 9, we'll rise and face the entrance of the sanctuary, symbolically welcoming the Sabbath bride. Cantor Natalie Young, Lecha Dodi.
Adonai Hamevorach. Baruch Adonai Hamevorach Leolam Vaed.
Please be seated. And we are going to continue on page 30 with Ma'ariv, Aravim in Hebrew, as we join together. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bidvaro ma'ariv aravim, b'chochma poteach she'arim, uvitvuna meshana itim, umachalif et hazmanim, umisader et hakochavim, b'mishmerotehem barkia kirtzono, borei yom v'layla, golel or mipnei choshech, vechoshech mipnei or, uma'avir yom umevi laila, umavdil ben yom uven laila, Adonai tzvaot shemo, el chai v'kayam, tamid yimloch aleinu le'elam va'ed, baruch atah Adonai ha'ma'ariv aravim. And we continue on 32 with Aviv with the singing of Ahavat Olam.
Ahavat Olam, Beit Yisrael, Amcha Ahavta, Torah u'mitzvot, Chukim u'mishpatim, Otanu Otanu limadeta, al ken Adonai Eloheinu b'shachbenu ukumenu nasiach bechukecha, v'nismach b'divrei toratcha, v'mitzvotecha leolam ba'ed, ki hem chayenu ve'orech yameinu, Uvahem nege yomam balayla, nege yomam balayla, v'havatcha al tasir, mimenu leolamim, baruch atah Adonai, ohev amo Yisrael, ohev amo Yisrael.
As we look on page 33, on the top of the page, we have this really nice passage. Obviously, it's the interpretive passage for Ahavat Olam. As you taught Torah to those whose names I bear, teach me Torah too. So right there, it teaches us something about our tradition, that we bear the names of those who came before. Those of us in this room, I would feel comfortable saying, are familiar with that tradition and probably even carried on that tradition. And I think it's one of the, when I spoke the other night about the jewels on Judaism Street that are being picked up or that some choose not to, I think that there aren't as many people picking up that jewel of passing on the name. I see that more and more. And it just makes me think about that, because I always found so much meaning in knowing that we kept our relatives' memories alive by their names. And one day I'll share my Hebrew name changing story and ceremony, and it changed when I was in rabbinical school in Israel, and I talked with my parents, and it's not a 2-second story. It's not a 1-hour story, but it's not a 2-second story. But I was very mindful of that when I was thinking of maybe changing my Hebrew name, because in short, I was named after my great-grandfather, but I was given a boy's name, which I didn't know at the time when I was young that it was a boy's name. But my cousin, who's 3 months younger, has the same boy's name. But anyway, but I feminized it. But that's a story for another day, as I said. So that's one thing I think about. And then it says, Its mystery beckons, meaning the Torah, yet I struggle with its truth. You meant Torah for me. Did you mean the struggle for me too? And then it says, don't let me struggle alone. Help me to understand, to be wise, to listen, to know. Lead me into the mystery. Blessed are you, Adonai, who loves his people Israel. And when I think about this struggle, what does that mean? I think it comes on many levels. I think it means, first there's the struggle with God, right? Some people aren't sure if they believe in God or not. Some people have decided for sure one way or the other. And I think a lot of people are in the middle. It vacillates our understanding of God, how we think of God, when we feel really close to God or sometimes more distant from God. I think it's a struggle. But I also think just, how do I practice Judaism? You know, it's not a given for us as Reformed Jews. When you're Orthodox, to my opinion, it seems a lot clearer. The lines are there. This is what I do and this is what I don't do. But as Reformed Jews, we engage in this struggle because we are told that we have the choice. We have choices. Now we know that our choices hopefully are made through education, right? Because the early reformers, those who founded Reformed Judaism, they came from what would be called today Orthodox homes. They were very well versed and learned. So they made decisions based on a lot of knowledge of Torah and the Talmud and the Mishnah and so much that came before. And so they made educated decisions. And so one of the questions I think about is, are our young people today making those educated decisions? I even think for myself, I mean, I make decisions. There's always more to learn. I don't know everything about Judaism. But the idea is the struggle. Do we do this or not do this? Do I choose this or do I choose that, right? Do I go to my daughter's dance recital or do I go to synagogue because it's Shabbat, right? We live in a world where we struggle. And you know, with every right comes a responsibility. And I think that if we assume the right to choose, then we also have the responsibility to know what we're choosing. Because when we choose X, then maybe we're not choosing Y. If you choose A, then not B. So I think it's important that we as Reformed Jews remember it's important to study and to know what we're making our choices based upon. Any comments, any thoughts?
I remember when my kids were in high school, they both were in marching band, different years because there's 6 years between them. And Friday nights were pretty tough because if they were marching, I was going to be where they are. But when they weren't, we were in temple. But it's the choice you have to decide, are your children more important? And I thought they were.
Yeah, it's his choice, you know, because the only country in the world that runs on Jewish time we know is Israel. And we don't live in Israel. Or if you live in the Orthodox world, your kids' sports games aren't going to be scheduled on Shabbat, right? So it's a little bit easier. But for most of us in this country who are not Orthodox Jews, we're constantly faced with challenges, choices. And it's hard when we have two competing values, both which are meaningful to us. We're going to rise for Shema Yisrael, the watchword of our faith, and then go right into the V'ahavta.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem, Kevod Malchuto, Leolam
Please be
Vaed.
seated.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
So next, Lee, can I have your phone for a second? I'm in trouble with my phone. So, we are going to now hear Natalie Young's version of Mi Chamocha. And, apologize for the delay. All right, you might now. Aviv, can you just do Mi Chamocha for us? I will have for next week. There's an issue here.
Okay.
Thank you.
Is it, Elaine? Okay. Thank you. Happy to bring this back down. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi chamocha ne'edar ba'kodesh, nora tehilot oseh fele. Malchutecha rahu vanecha, Bokeam lifnei Moshe Miriam, Ze'eli anu ve'amru, Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed.
So if we look on the bottom of page 43, this is one of my most favorite readings in the evening service. Let's read it together, and then we could take a minute or two to talk about it. Give us a place to rest, Adonai our God. Bring us into shelter in the soft, long evening shadows of your truth. For with you are true protection and safety, and in your presence are acceptance and gentle love. Watch over us as we go forth. Prepare for us as we return. Spread over us your shelter of peace, over all we love, over our Jerusalem and yours. Baruch atah Adonai, haporei sukat shalom aleinu, v'al kol amo Yisrael, v'al Yerushalayim. I love this prayer because I love the idea of God watching over us, God sheltering us, being in the shelter of God's wings, so to speak. I just love that feeling, of it says, true protection and safety. And I find this to be really meaningful, and I'm wondering, we'll pass the mic, and if you feel comfortable Does that resonate with you? Do these words have meaning, or do they feel empty? I'd be curious to know, and if you want to pass, that's fine.
Well, these are tough times we live in, so it's a challenge, but I like to believe it.
I think that everyone has a good shelter of peace somewhere. And some people are probably still finding it, but I think everyone finds that that place where they feel safe and they feel protected.
Why don't you pass it over there? I've got a mic. That makes me think actually of the priestly blessing, which is basically asking God to watch over us and keep us safe. And it's just another, to me, it's just another way of doing the same thing.
And I don't know if this is how it should be interpreted, but when I read the paragraph, prepare for us for our return, I like to believe that when my time comes, I will be with God and those that came before.
Beverly, I want to say that, yes, that's exactly how it's meant. It's exactly how it's meant. And yeah, as we return to God, absolutely. So we're going to continue with Vishamru, page 44.
Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam beini uvein b'nei Yisrael od hi leolam od hi leolam od hi leolam Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai et ha-shamayim ve'et ha'aretz Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam ubayom hashvi'i Shabbat vayinafash Shabbat vayinafash Shabbat vayinafash Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam.
We rise now. We rise now. We rise now for the Amidah. We're going to start on page 46, and we're going to hear the version from Cantor Natalie Young, which we heard all through the High Holy Days, and then Aviv will pick up with the Avot, the Imahot.
Adonai, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu ve'imotenu Elohei Avraham Elohei Yitzchak ve'Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel ve'Elohei Leah Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'Hanorah El Elyon Gomel Chasadim Tovim Ve'Konei Hakol Ve'Zocher Chasdei Avot Ve'imahot Umevi Gula Livnei V'neihem Leman Shemo Be'ahava Melech Ozer Umoshia Umagen Baruch Atah Adonai Magen Avraham Ve'ezrat Sarah Atah Gibor Leolam Adonai Mechaye HaKol Atah Rav Lehoshia Morid HaTal Mechalkel Chaim Bechesed Mechaye HaKol Berachamim Rabim Somech Noflim Ve'rofech Cholim Umatir Asurim Umekayem Emunato Lishenei Afar Michamocha Bal Gevurot Miumido Melach Melech Memit Umechayeh Umatzmiach Yeshua B'ne'eman atah l'chayot hakol Baruch atah Adonai Mechayeh hakol Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh U'kadoshim b'chol yom yalalucha selah Baruch atah Adonai Ha'el HaKadosh.
Please close the ark. And we may all be seated as we continue with our prayer for peace, Shalom Rav. This one by Cantor Young. Time to pray for our loved ones who need healing. Lev Dickerman, Leonard Glazier, Carla Wallace, Jim Todd, Janet Harrison, Nelson Goodman. If you'd like to add names of loved ones, please do so at this time.
Cindy McDonald.
The people hurt by Hurricane Ian.
People of Ukraine and Tigray and Somalia.
We keep them all in our heart as we join together in our Misha Baruch prayer for healing, the middle of page 253.
Misha Baruch Avoteinu Mikor HaBracha Le'imotenu. May the source of strength who bless the ones before us help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Mishe Beirach Imotenu Ekor HaBracha La'avotenu. Bless those in need of healing with Refuah Shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen. Ose shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imru amen. Ose shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imru amen. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imru amen. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imru amen.
So I know that tonight was Ask the Rabbi, but I think it became The Rabbi Asks You. We'll have to do Ask the Rabbi another night because I want to be mindful and respectful of our time. I know people are still waiting to go to dinner. So we are going to continue with Aleinu and have Asked the Rabbi at another time. It was supposed to be Asked the Rabbi instead of the sermon, but then we kind of discussed some of the prayers. So Noah, would you please once again open the ark as we continue on page 282 with Aleinu L'Shabeach. Thank you.
Aleinu l'shabeach l'Adon hakol, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסר הארץ, ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושכינתו זו בגבי מרומים. הוא אלוהינו אין עוד, אמת מלכנו אפס זולתו, כך כתוב בתורתו. וידעת היום, והשבות אל לבביך, כי אדוני הוא האלוהים בשמיים ממעל, ועל הארץ מתחת אין עוד, ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד, ושמו אחד.
Please be seated. We now call to mind our loved ones who have passed into the world to come. If you are here to recite Kaddish for a loved one, you're invited to rise and his or her name is read aloud. Tonight we remember Dr. Samuel L. Carr, Arthur Kling, Mark Paul Levine, Dorothy Levy, David Waterman, Norman Band, Victor M. Easley, Leopold Isler, Nellie S. Kratzik, Morris L. Kratzik, Samuel Rosenberg. Zichronam Livracha, may their memories be for a blessing, may they rest in peace. As we rise together as a congregation, praising God's holy name, with the mourner's Kaddish. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah, Bialma divarach yirtei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayeichon u'vyomeichon u'chayei b'chol beit Yisrael, ba'agala u'vizman kari v'yimeru amen. Yehei shmei rabbah mevorach le'olam omei omaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shemei dekudesha b'richu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata. Tushbechata v'nechemata. Da'amiran bi'alma v'yimeru amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shamaya. V'chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimeru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav. Hu ya'aseh shalom. Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimeru amen. May the source of peace and peace to all who mourn and comfort to all who are bereaved, as we say again together. Amen. Please be seated. So this Sunday, we have decorating the sukkah starting at 12:30, and thanks to the men's club for giving us lunch. Sunday evening, weather permitting, we'll be outside for Sukkot services, so as long as it's not raining and it's not like 40 degrees, come and bring a jacket if need be. It should be really nice to be in the sukkah together. Monday, our office is closed because it is Sukkot. And Thursday the 13th is the Temple Shalom Book Club in the Sukkah. And then next Saturday night we'll be in the Sukkah again for schmoozing in the Sukkah and welcoming new members and a taste of Simchat Torah. Dinner starts at 5:30. It will be Mediterranean. And there will be vegetarian options. I hope everyone got the email with the flyers, so please RSVP. We'd love to have you. And as a closing song, Aviv, I'm making a switch on you, but I think you'll be okay with it. I want to play one more by Cantor Young, and we'll see what you think. And, okay, here we go. It's called Holy, Holy, Holy.
Israel.
For a second, I thought she was doing a Beatles intro.
I'm having trouble with my computer. Here, come here, no, look. It's the problem here with my computer. I was having it before, but it won't help.
Let the kids do it. No help, nothing. Let them do it and be done with it.
It's not lighting up. There's something wrong. I was having a computer problem. There's something with my computer. Now that is. Yeah, all right. Well.
Is it maybe because the Wi-Fi?
No, let me try one more, please. Can you one more. Something's wrong with my computer, I think. Let me try this one. Here, let's try this and see if it's going to play here.
Soft and strong.